good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all. And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
I feel like I messed that up.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out in post. Maybe I'll just splice it in some random time that you did it right, and we'll figure it out afterwards.
Oh, we'll get my AI clone in.
Yeah, but anyway, we're here to talk about Cardi B, and I think ultimately we're wondering, is she sabotaging her own career? Is she getting in her own way? Is she doing things that have really hurt her over the last 5 years since she has released her biggest single, one of her biggest singles, WAP. And now that she has Am I the Drama out as of September 19th, 2025, we're just curious if she's gonna continue on her run, continue to escalate as a superstar, or peter out. Sorry, I said Peter.
Yeah, so there are a lot of interesting questions with this. We're going to try to tackle it from a couple different perspectives. We are going to talk about the album a little bit, not do a review, but just kind of give our thoughts. But we're going to talk about, I think we should start with the rollout.
Why did it take so long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because they were cultivating the Cardi B experience, which a lot of us find endearing. No matter what the issue is, no matter what court case, we like Cardi B and who she is.
What is the Cardi B experience according to them, or we, or us?
So I think it's
all the pronouns.
Because you know how much memeable stuff she did over COVID, oh my God, what is that? Or her talking about food or something that she likes to cook. It's basically her on Love and Hip Hop times a million.
So her jumping on social media, doing a meme.
Yeah.
That is a rollout for her.
That is the part of the experience in a way.
What's the rest of the experience?
The rest of the experience, I think, is the drama, whether it was the issues with Nicki Minaj, so the court cases and behind that, throwing shoes, the fighting random people, from the Love and Hip Hop cast.
Just
her issues
typical past stripper things.
That is one way to put it.
Yeah.
Her issues with Quavo. Them at the time when they were together, raising their kids and their experiences with that. The way her fashion sense. So being a fashionista, connecting to these different platforms, the experience is if the hood chick got fancy and knew she was being fancy, but still acted the same. And it's endearing in whatever way.
I don't buy it.
Huh?
I don't buy it because, well, it may just be a personal thing that I don't personally buy it.
Yeah.
But if I take it outside of myself, I don't think it's working anymore. I don't believe that old, you could say short form, memeable type of thing is working for Cardi B up until her trial. So between WAP, which released in 2020, till right about this time, 2025, fall of 2025. I can't remember a time where Cardi B has been that memeable outside of the elections, right? When she was helping the campaign, she was, giving her civics knowledge, which is, out of left field of any expectation that we would have of Cardi B.
Yo,
but she is absolutely
wild.
brilliant when it comes to like politics.
When
And
you
then-
said that, bro, like, okay, so look, hold on. Let me tell you, this is also
Please.
part of the Cardi B experience. When you said that, I immediately thought the most remedial, low grade civics class until you explained, like, no. She knew what she was talking about and was explaining it very good. Because I was like, oh, wow.
Have you not seen any of that?
No, I did miss that.
Okay, so that's the thing is I don't want to over explain it. It's not necessary. I think when we're talking about what took so long, I think it's primarily because Cardi B just misses every opportunity to capitalize off of her memes.
But I don't know that her strategy, and this was the thing when she got in the game, right? I don't think the strategy was, I'm trying to be an artist. I feel like the strategy has always been, I'm trying to be an everything. Like,
I think she's being herself.
yeah.
And I don't think her being herself is everything. I think her being herself just is memeable. She's not trying, but she's also, that lack of not trying
Yes. Yes.
misses every opportunity to like
Yes.
bank off of that. You know
And
what I mean?
I agree with that. And I think that was part of the strategy, or at least her strategy. Because I think if I'm QC, if I'm the other portions of different labels and things at the time, like, I'm trying to keep going. Like, I'm going to keep you in the studio with all of these different people. And, they drop it. Like I said, they Andre 3000 her. And, she gets that feature once a year since the album came out. So she's always on some hit record. The Bruno Mars record went crazy. The G-Eazy record went crazy at the time.
It ain't so.
The, like you said, WAP went crazy. She got a song with Lotto. Like, there's a lot of things that allow her to stay in a
lot
space.
of things.
Dad jokes. But there's a lot of things that allow her to stay in the spotlight. But I do agree that there's not a lot of capitalization of that, at least not in the way that we would expect.
Yeah, she revealed to the Breakfast Club, and this is a good segue to our next thing. She revealed to the Breakfast Club during her interview about Am I the Drama that she doesn't really do schedules or like routines and things of that nature. She's really fly by the seat of her pants or go with the flow. Sure. I don't even want to say that. You know where I'm going.
You know
but
what I mean?
priority, her being a priority to the label, I feel like her not being able to stick to a schedule is what makes her not a priority to the label in some cases.
I also think she's not a traditional artist in that way, and we expect her to be.
I don't know, but I think you have to have some. So she is fluid, right? She's memeable. Most of those memes come off the cuff during very natural situations or very organic situations. Just her living her life and being herself. But after you create that stuff, the label still has an obligation to turn out a thing and to sell a thing. And so I think you have to balance between having a schedule and not having a schedule and kind of meet somewhere in the middle in order for things to be pretty harmonious.
I agree, but I also think that it hasn't hurt the label in ways that we think it has. Because otherwise, like, at this point, we would have never got the album. They would have kept it kept pushing it off, delaying it, doing all these different things. Whereas it seems more like you're still profitable to us, which is why we will deal with your not having a schedule.
I don't mean it hurts the label. I mean, well, you're saying she's not a priority. Well, if the premise is she's not a priority, you're saying the label has to be hurt in order for them to make that decision?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
And the reason why I don't believe that is because, number one, their parent company makes billions of dollars anyway. When you're talking about Atlantic, they just did a whole regime change, and so they're capitalizing off of the other artists that they have. I think she's not much of a priority because she's not always able to kind of catch a wave. And that inability to catch a wave, in my opinion, makes her less of a priority, because then like labels aren't doing the work for you.
No.
They're waiting for you to catch a wave. And if they're continuously waiting on you to catch a wave, you become lower and lower on the list. That's my opinion.
But then wasn't WAP the wave?
It was the wave. But I think that's even making my point even stronger, is that she rode that wave for a little bit, but then I think people are going to ask, what's next? Right? And she didn't really deliver anything after that. To my knowledge, did she?
I don't know what the next single was, because I'm trying to think, because I know that there was, I don't know if when was the Bruno Mars song? I don't know if that was before or after WAP. But there was a lull.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is, like, I don't know that you can have a lull like that in this industry, and unfortunately, like, you have to keep pushing.
I don't know. I don't know if it's hurting her as much as we think it is, because there's always the market for her. The market moves. Like, I remember when Joe was talking about, Joe Budden was talking about all the different, when he was expecting an album, and he was talking about all this stuff and missing the boat. Like, and I feel like that's an annual conversation.
Yeah. So maybe here's what I'm missing, right? Maybe it was Up. Do you remember Tomorrow 2? With Glorilla?
Actually, I think I do, because I think that's the one. I forget. She had a bar on there that I thought was real cold, at least for Cardi bars, because I remember that was when Glow first started popping.
Yeah, and I think my struggle here is that, like, after Up, which was almost immediately after WAP, right? Where does she take that to the next level? And every record after this is sort of just a flash, a moment, a very quick moment that seeds afterwards.
I think the label and Cardi were hit chasing, and they knew that they could do that with the new model of streaming and just dropping singles. We, as the consumer, like us, I think we crave an album more than the newer age craves an album. Like, yeah, you want to get them streaming everything and all of that, but there's not really the same motivations to make something that is long form when Cardi has been able to stay relevant by just doing these singles once a year.
I struggle with those singles because they don't stick in the way that the previous songs done. Like Up and Above, or In the Past, from the time the Up release past that, those singles stuck and they did what they needed to do.
Right.
Going forward from Up, though, that same situation didn't happen, and so I'm wondering if the label, they were definitely trying to catch one, I feel like they were picking all the wrong ones and not really leveraging what that was. I would even say that they missed an opportunity with Outside,
I agree. Because
especially for this album.
Yeah.
They didn't capitalize on Outside. Actually, had they been patient enough, and this is a hindsight conversation, so I don't know that you can grill them too much.
Mm-hmm.
But had they been patient enough, they could have released Outside after the trial, and it would have been way more successful. I think they were just trying to catch one for the summer, and it just didn't stick.
But I also think they were trying to capitalize off the fact that the biggest thing in the news with her was the stuff with Offset. And then the questions of, well, because they're both releasing albums, I think, because I know she just released hers, and I don't know if Offset released his recently or not.
He did. He dropped his whole project. I love his. By the way, they did a performance on, I think it was either Kimmel or Fallon, where what's the group that did "Let the Bodies Hit the Flow"? The Bodies song with Jid. They did a mashup of that.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Okay. Shout out to Offset. I think that it was more because they're still on the same label, right?
Who, them two?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think they are, because I think QC has the whole connection between all of them. If
I just don't know. I don't know if he's still on QC. I think that might be an issue.
But even without that, I'm still thinking I feel like there is an Atlantic connection between the two. And if not, either way, I think both of the labels were playing off of their dynamics. So even if they're not on the same label, the labels that are around were playing off the dynamics of the conversations that were going on about them. It was such a high profile breakup, cheating scandal. He did this, he did, that. I think alongside the Offset issues with Quavo, they were playing that up. So it's just like there's a lot of attention on this dynamic of all of these either current or former QC artists. And the fact that the quality control is not where we wanted it to be.
They're not on the same company.
Okay.
Cardi is Atlantic. Warner. Warner is the parent company.
Okay.
And then
Quavo
is
not Quavo. Offset.
Offset
Jesus.
is what is it? Motown QC 300, I think. Okay. And then that parent company is UMG.
Okay. Okay.
So
interesting.
They're on competing companies. I do agree with you that they could have leveraged the breakup as a way to say, "Hey, I'm outside. I'm broken up with this dude. I'm gonna move that."
Yeah.
But I also don't believe that they should have sent her on the press run right after that single. They should have worked that single.
They should have worked a lot of different things, but I think there's the anomaly of what Cardi B is, which is, to me, and I think we said this before when we were talking about her initial run, and I think we've even done the album conversations when WAP and Up came out, because we were like, oh, there's got to be an album coming, and there wasn't. I think she's just not the traditional artist, and Atlantic doesn't seem to understand that. They're still doing traditional stuff, like we said, with the wave catching and everything else. Cardi is the type of artist that you have to box her in, make her make this album. You can trickle out hits, see when the wave comes, and then you drop. And you just allowed this person who is a free-flowing individual, non-schedule setting, all this other stuff, to control all the terms and conditions of how y'all move. Because y'all can get her to come through and do the WAPs and the ups and everything else. So why do you not just stockpile and then make that the album?
But do you think they could control her like that?
No, and that is the issue. But well, actually, yes, because it's not like Cardi. She pops outside for them records.
Mm-hmm.
Like Atlantic leveraged the record, leverage the relationship, leverage these things. Like say, like, hey, if she go into the studio with Meg, y'all could have did a couple songs. Like, cause she like being there,
Yeah, I struggle with how much,
or at least it seems like it. I should say.
I struggle with how much actual control they may have over her. But ultimately, what do you think about the album now that it's out?
I think it's very apparent that she was trying to write a lot of things. And I think the parts that she was trying to write were specifically about her relationship with Offset. Because there was a lot of talk about that relationship. And it rehashes the same things, which is, I didn't cheat on you, you cheated on me. Those are the bars.
Yeah. She also writes about the new relationship, and she's sort of gloating about that relationship and how there's things that she does for the new person that she would never have done for Offset. And so I think that's less about the album and more about like her personal life. And so the album overall for me sounds like a mixtape, a disjointed mixtape. And also they're playing the string games by including Up and WAP on this project, which means that like this definitely should have came out 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And she now has an opportunity to like add new songs to it, add a bunch of work to it, kind of basically just cash the check.
I also think that it was more so her interest. And what I mean by that is, so there's a lot of songs in there that I think are good, great songs. I think a lot of the featured tracks, whether it's the songs with Summer Walker, Lourdes, Kehlani, Lizzo.
A lot of women, right?
Yeah, there's a big upping of those people. And there's a Janet Jackson feature too, which I'm like, I see what the label was doing. And then I think she was like, I really want to talk about this.
Yeah, I can also, I think I can see from the fact that there's so many women on the featured, on the featured tracks, that she wanted to empower women, I think, by this album in some sort of way. Especially when talking about relationships, whether it be positive or negative. And so many of those songs that have those features do speak to like how good a relationship is or could be, but also talks about how I can take control of my life after negative circumstances. And so it's woman power on this particular album. And although I know that's authentic for her, if the label is leveraging that for a marketing scheme or wanting to like lean into that, I definitely think they shouldn't. They should not, because it would be too obvious. And I don't think that's purposefully what Cardi B is going for, so to speak. Right? She's intentional about choosing those people, but she's not trying to make it a marketing game.
I also think that, again, this is like, you can tell the parts where Cardi wanted something to me versus like, okay, so I want this song, or I want to say this, or I want to talk about whatever, versus, like I said, the songs with Kehlani, the song with Selena Gomez. Like there's an intentionality of the hit and trying to add to Up and WAP. So Outside is on there. So it's like, I'm trying to add to that. There's, what is the name of the song? Let me look it up. It's like Magnet, or all of these things where they're using, like, The first three songs, excuse me, wet mouthed as hell. The first three songs,
Wop mouth.
wop mouth, is crazy.
Wham.
That's wow,
Wham.
wow with it. Wow.
Anyway,
But the first three songs are like paying homage to different Southern tracks, right? The whole like, bitch, you can't do it like me. Like, there's a running thing where you're noticing what they're kind of reaching for. They're reaching for nostalgia. They're reaching for like the hit maker kind of bag where you pick this old song, you take little parts from it. It's nostalgic enough to get us involved. It's nostalgic, or it's new enough to get the younger kids involved because they don't know what that comes from. And they're flocking towards it. So you have the songs that I think are going to do well for her. I just don't think it's as concentrated as what Invasion of Privacy was. And I think that's his biggest issue.
yeah, I can see that. And I think that's kind of where I was thinking in my head is that they should have cut a lot of these records from the album. I do have a comment about Bodega Baddie. I feel like that song could be a TikTok.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely for that. Because I was like, when I was listening, I was like, how is 23 songs just an hour and 11 minutes? Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, well, there has to be like skits or something. And it's like, no, there's no skits. There's just a minute and whatever 53 song, which I'm like, streaming.
Right. Streaming,
Like,
TikTok,
I see what you're doing.
leveraging content that users are going to create out of the project. And so, I don't know. Ultimately, I believe that Cardi B is in her own way. She's kind of keeping herself from that next level of success that she could hit by not capitalizing off of her moments. And that's just my POV.
I think that she is going to use this to elevate. And I think the only issue with all the stuff that she's doing is you are a superstar. If you were on a schedule and took things a bit more seriously, you could be a megastar. Though some would probably disagree and say she is a megastar. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of things and a lot of places that she can go, whether it's acting, whether it's...
She doesn't want to act. I learned that from the Breakfast Club interview.
But there's just like there's other things that you can do. And if you're trying to be like a fashion ambassador and all these different things that I think she steps into, there's other ways for her to do it and actually be a megastar with that.
Yeah.
And you are wasting potential because you have a lot of potential and a lot of talent within you, but you're not really going to see that because I think she's happy in the lane that she's in.
Very much so.
But anyway, what do y'all think? What did you think about the album? What do you think about the rollout? Do you think this album is 5 years, 8 years too late? Let us know down in the comments. Let us know down in the comments.
I don't care what you say. Yes.
Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get notified for every time we drop dope videos like this. We do this for the underdog. And we'll see you in the next piece. A 1 and a 2 and a peace.
Wham.
What? What?